name is Jen. You can call me Niffer Bunny, and I am a visually impaired software engineer living in Denver, Colorado. My vision would be considered low vision, but I do hit that 2200 cutoff for legal blindness. In the center of my vision, there's a blurry spot, and I need things basically to be bigger than that blurry spot for me to see them. Today, I'm going to walk through some of my favorite products, more on the low-tech side of things. Let's get started. One of my favorite genre of items are games modified for people with low vision. So for example, I have this deck of bicycle cards. As you can see, these cards are really big font. So I'm able to see them both when they're in my hand and then vaguely see them when they're on the table in front of me. I also have low vision bananagrams. Doesn't that sound? But these are like probably not double the size, but they're definitely bigger bananagrams letters. I love playing board games though, so these modified games really help level the playing field when I'm playing against fully sighted people. I'm very competitive. Another thing I love is my tandem bike. Once I graduated college and met my now fiance, I wanted to convince him to ride tandem with me, so I bought a cheap one off Craigslist. And that was a lovely bike. Nick did end up liking it, and we rode around a lot through Boston. Once we moved to Colorado, we were like, let's just buy a new fancy bike. So there's a cool tandem store in Colorado called Tandem Cycle Works. Check them out, they're pretty great. And we bought a fancy schmancy tandem bike, and I love it. One item that comes in handy in the kitchen is low vision measuring cups. So I have these examples here. They have the big number written on the base, which I can see from pretty far away, and then it also has the size on the handle. And they also sell the little teaspoons as well. That is smaller because it's a smaller spoon, but it's still much bigger than your average teaspoon. I hate those metal teaspoons where it's just etched in, and you have to get the right lighting to see it. It's so small. So these are a huge help in the kitchen. Something I use a lot for work is special writing utensils so that I can more easily see it. I love having a whiteboard around, so I usually write down stuff that I need to do, and this is big enough that I can see it easily and scratch things off when I've done it. Then I also keep a paper notebook. I use this bold writer. They used to be called 2020 pens. I think they changed the name. Basically a marker, but it doesn't bleed through. So that's the advantage, that you can take double-sided notes with this pen. I also sometimes want to not take so much space up. Use a G2 .07 Pilot pen. I don't know pen terms, but it's a gel pen basically. The writing is pretty thick compared to other pens, and it's very dark black. So with that contrast on the paper, I can see it. I usually have to hold it pretty close to my face. But this is good for journaling, where I don't need to go back and read those notes very often. It's dark enough that I can see it as I'm writing, versus a pencil is very light and I can't see it as much. So that's kind of trippy, trying to write but you can't see what you're writing. So would recommend these pens. I don't do that much sewing, but I do have a sewing kit. I have this needle threader that I can use. It has this red handle and then this little piece of wire in a diamond shape. So you put the tip through the hole in the needle that you're using, and I can usually do that by feel to get the point into the hole. And then once that's in the thread, you just have to get it through this diamond, which is much bigger than the needle hole. So I can also kind of do that by feel and kind of by sight if I have the right background. And then once the thread is through this, you pull this out of the needle and the needle's threaded. So this definitely comes in handy. I think you can use it on a sewing machine as well. Shoes that have the normal strap with the little clasp thing where you have to get the metal spike into the hole, those are really hard to do by feel. I can't see the hole, especially when it's on my foot. If I held it up to my face, I could probably do it by seeing the hole, but my foot is far away from my face, so I can't see the hole, and they're not very easy to feel. So these are really hard for me, getting that clasp on. So instead I try to look for shoes that either have a Velcro strap, like this. That makes it really easy because you don't have to just strap it on. Or shoes that are zippered primarily. So these are my new pole dance boots, but it has a zipper up the side. This is a small thing. I'm not even proving my point right now, but tinted moisturizer, I don't wear makeup often, and it's hard for me, like, trying to do my makeup. I can't tell, like, if it looks good or not. I just put it on and hope for the best, or ask someone who is there getting ready with me. But tinted moisturizer, I feel like I don't need to be as accurate. You just rub it all over your face evenly, and it gives you that, like, nice, even tint and color. I got the Neutrogena Healthy Skin No Shears, I think is what it says. But if anyone else has a better recommendation, I was just looking at, like, cheapest on Target with the best reviews. I think it does have a benefit over makeup for someone like myself with a vision impairment. Some of you might come at me for this, but it's not a physical item, but just asking for help is a tool I use in my daily life. I do have some hacks that I use, for example, like at a restaurant or somewhere where I have to read a sign, I might say, oh, I forgot my glasses, do you mind reading that for me? It's just easier to explain. People understand, like, I forgot my glasses more than they understand I'm visually impaired. If you start bringing up your vision impairment, they'll ask questions. They'll be like, well, you don't look blind. Where's your cane? Where's your guide dog? Things like that. Or just like, you have to go in and tell them your medical history. And you don't always want to do that with a stranger. So it's faster and, like, less obtrusive to just say, I forgot my glasses. That is, like, my biggest tip. People really sympathize with forgetting your glasses. One of my other sneaky tactics for asking for help is getting a recommendation from the shop owner or bartender. For example, at a bakery, like, there's usually that glass case with all of the goods in it, and there's no paper menu or even a menu on the wall. It's just like the things in the case are labeled. I can't usually tell what the things are or read what it says it is, so a lot of times I'll ask, like, oh, what's your favorite thing here? Or, oh, I'm in a chocolatey mood, which would you recommend? Something like that, so that I'm able to just order whatever they recommend me. It doesn't need to draw attention to the fact that you have a disability. It could just be like a friendly sort of, what's your favorite? I also do this at bars or breweries where I'm like, I don't like beer. What do you have that tastes the least like beer? Like a sour or a cider. I do have, like, these sneaky ways of asking for help just because it's easier than disclosing my disability, I guess. Especially since my disability is so hidden, like, people don't believe me when I tell them. I'm not saying don't disclose your disability, definitely go for it. There's some tips that I use. Those are all of the things I've thought of so far. I'm going to link down below my Amazon storefront, I guess, with the links to all of these products. If you want to check them out, I would get a commission, so no pressure, but feel free to use those links if you would like to. Let me know in the comments what else you want to see. I could do a video on more high-tech things. I'm currently unemployed, so I could do a video on how I've been interviewing, things like that. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel.